Hey everyone, it's Will from Garage Built Athlete and welcome back to the channel. If you're like me and you've been umming and ahhing about getting yourself a chiller for your ice bath, then this video is for you. In my last video, you would have seen me unboxing and setting up the Nurecover Pod Pro and the Nurecover Tropic Pro Sauna. And as part of the Ultimate Recovery bundle that I got, I was waiting on the delivery of the ice bath chiller. Well, that's what's in this box. On today's video, I'm going to be unboxing the chiller, getting it set up and giving it a test run. A couple of things before we get started. If you're new to the channel and you like what we do here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions about the video today, pop a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you like the video, do leave it a like. It helps the channel grow. Secondly, if you're after any recovery tools that Nurecover offer, so that's saunas, ice baths, grounding mats, supplements, I'll put a link in the description for this video. Use that link and code GarageBuilt at the checkout and get yourself a discount. Absolutely, we get commission from that. Costs you nothing, but we get a kickback. So you'll be helping our channel in that way as well. Let's crack the box open and see what we got. Okay, instructions for a special chiller for ornamental fish. Consider me an ornamental fish. Power cable. Some connecting tubes. Pipe work. More connecting tubes and pipe work. Submersible pump. Sediment filter and the chiller itself. I know what you're thinking, you must work out. Well, you're right, I do. Okay, let's take a closer look at the unit itself. It's definitely a water chiller. Let's put it together. Little quick tip from me, I was about to throw out some of the polystyrene packaging and in there were some connecting pieces, so just be careful, don't chuck those out. And there's also the Nurecover instruction manual, which I've just spent the last 10 minutes hunting for because I put it down somewhere and my stupid brain couldn't remember where I put it. But I've got it now, so let's get it work. The back of the manual, you've got some pictures in terms of how to get it set up. So let's assemble the chiller interface. Black plastic connector. Black plastic connector B consists of these little pipes and these securing bolts. So in the separate instructions, you've got this flat gasket sealing ring is what they call it. So this flat gasket sealing ring is going to go on the top of your inlet and your outlet connectors. We slip this plastic bolt on, tighten it up. Okay, that goes on there, and then it says, after tightening the fixing nut, boom, boom, connect the water pipe and fix the throat hoops with a screwdriver. Okay, so these pipes are going to go on here, and these throat hoops are going to secure them snug. So I'll pop one on each. So far, so good. Okay, next step is to connect the water pump to the water outlet of the filter bottle. So on this filter, you've got some arrows to indicate one's going water in, one's going water out. So check those arrows. So here's the arrow to say out, and here's the one to say in. So this is going into the water outlet of the filter bottle. Snug. So if you can see that. Next, The water inlet of the filter bottle is connected to the water pipe C through accessory J. So this, one thing I nearly threw out, is an accessory J. There's 4 of those. Make sure you've got all 4. We're going to connect that. And then water pipe C, 70 centimeter double thread interface pipe. All good. Let's get that one on. You turn it so far and then it just clicks round again. Let's try the other end. No, both the same. Okay. That's as tight as that's getting. Let's leave that one like that. And then we're going to take these little accessory J's and put them on the outlet taps of the pod. So you've got these taps here, and we're going to just attach one on the top and one on the bottom. Next up, we connect water pipe E, which is the longest pipe, to the top tap. Just like that. Now we move the chiller in, and it says to connect this top pipe, and it says to A. Just going to whack it on there. And then we take the water filter end and we connect the water filter end to this bottom tap. So let's connect that one. I've done that finger tight because you twist it too far and it just comes off the thread, so that's got to be that, right? This is the shortest single connector pipe, the last bit. So just turn this an angle in order for you to connect it up. Screw it on and then pull it back up like that. And the last pipe is going to connect on there. Let's just finish up. Loosen off these clamps with a flathead screwdriver, then you'll be able to get them over the pipe. So hopefully you can see now these clamps just on the outside. So I'm going to tighten those up. There is only 2 in the pack. That's that. On this filter pump, there's a little power lead which is going to go into the back. Just in the back here, there's an area to connect the water pump, little power socket, and the power off and on switch is just here. You take the power cord lastly, pop that in there, get it into position. Okay, so I think I've got it all put together. Power's on, so okay, let's turn these taps, get something going. Okay, that's a lot of water leaking. Okay, so a couple of problems that I've encountered straight away. On the water filter, you need to make sure that that is really tightly screwed together. And then these connectors on the taps, they're not like locked in. So you have to be really careful that you've got those attached as well. Well, I started it and the water is now at 20 degrees C, which is 70-ish Fahrenheit. So I'm just going to leave it for a bit. It just doesn't appear to be much, if anything, coming out. I wonder if I turn this around. I'll just turn this around as well. Welcome back. I now have the Nurecover chiller working, I think correctly. After several frustrating hours of struggling, I'm going to show you it all set up and talk you through what I think I did wrong and what I think I did right. First up, the instructions that you get are only so useful. So I jumped onto YouTube to try and diagnose the problem and found some very useful videos. One from a chap called Ben Chill. Thank you very much, Ben Chill, for helping me out. You told me I needed to backfill the pump, which wasn't in the instructions. And also Nicholas Clay. I had a look at some of your videos to just double check how I had my pipes set up. Thanks for that, YouTube. Incredibly helpful. Hopefully this video will do the same for some of you out there if you are struggling with getting your chiller working. So I'll take you over to the unit now, over here, and show you what we've got going on. So here's the chiller unit on the front, and you can see this readout is saying 19.8 degrees, and that's what the temperature of the water, which is circulating through the chiller, is currently reading at, which should read roughly the same as the temperature in the ice bath. So yeah, temperature in the ice bath is 20. Now, you can see I've got this lovely flow of water coming in from the top tap. Now that's telling me that the water is pumping out from the bottom, through the system, and out through the top. Now, in order to set the temperature on this machine, all you do is you click set, and I've got it set as 4 degrees. So I've started this as it was 20 and I've just turned it on, so I'm going to see how long it takes to cool the water all the way down. But do bear in mind that the air temperature is 21. It's going to have to work quite hard to get that down to temperature. So the water's flowing, the chiller's on, everything's moving through. And now let me show you what is going where. The water inlets and outlets on the top. Now, apparently there's no difference between those because the water's being pumped round by that small pump. There's no pump in the chiller unit itself. So how I've got this set up, way down the bottom there. So I have the bottom tap open, so this is in line with the double-ended tube going into the inlet of the water filter. Important thing to note on this water filter, the actual filter itself inside was wrapped in plastic with a label on it. It doesn't tell you to take that out of the plastic on the instructions, although now looking back, it seems kind of obvious. You also need to make sure that this is fully secured, otherwise you're going to get water leaking out of it. On the other side, on the outlet side, we've got the pump, which is connected, powered on the back of this chiller. The pump then uses one of the single-ended hoses to come all the way out and into the top of the chiller. Water then circulates around the chiller and it comes out of another single-edge hose, which could do with straightening up so it doesn't have to work so hard. And that is going into the top with this valve open, and you can see the water's coming out of there. Now, for one reason or another, and I'm not entirely sure why, it could have been because I didn't take the filter out of the plastic wrapper, it could have been because I didn't backfill the system, it just wasn't working. The pump was like cycling, so it would fire up and then drop down, fire up and then drop down, rather than this, what it's doing now is like a consistent pump. So it's constantly pushing water through that system. So what I did to backfill the system was, initially, I took the whole of that filter and the pump, and I took this hose off. This was the only hose that wasn't connected, and I submerged the whole thing into the ice bath, filled it up with water. So you can see here, this is completely full. There's a tiny little air bubble up the top. The reason that I left this hose off is because I wanted to then top up the water before I plugged it in. Now, I had this all turned off at the time, so I had no pumps running whilst I submerged it. Then I checked that the flow was going to work by keeping it submerged and just having this pipe just in the ice bath and being able to see whether or not water was flowing through. Once I knew it was pushing water all the way through, I then took the filter and the pump out, positioned it where I wanted it to go for now. So I took this hose, detached from the inlet, held it up, and then I filled it with a jug with water from the ice bath until it was as full as it could get. Once it was as full as it could get, I reattached it and turned the whole system on. And then I left it. And then I came back and it was doing this. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I was very frustrated. I'd seen lots of commentary around how the pump wasn't strong enough and that it wasn't fit for purpose, but actually it's moving water at a pretty decent rate. Like you can see, it's pushing that water out pretty well. So now the test is to see how long it's going to take to chill that water down. So let's find out. Here we are, 6.5 hours later. Temperature check. It's about bang on from what the chiller's saying. It's about 11. Yeah, just over 11 degrees. So this is pretty well dialed in. So the chiller has taken 6.5 hours to drop 9 degrees C off the temperature. So it's doing a little under 2 degrees centigrade an hour, which means if I want to get it to 4 degrees, I've got another 4 or 5 hours to go. So there's a tip for you. If your water's warm, this is not going to chill it down instantly. But we carry on. We are 9.5 hours in to the chill, the big chill. 9.4 degrees C on the chiller. The thermometer is misting up as I pull it out of the tub, but it's so yeah, it's 9.5 degrees centigrade, 48 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's getting there, but that is 9.5 hours of chilling. Now, do I leave it on overnight and miss the moment that it goes down to 4 degrees, or do I turn it off and start again tomorrow? We'll see. Still got a couple of hours till I'm going to go to bed. Come on, chiller, you can do it. Final check-in of the night. We are 10 hours and 30 minutes into chilling. 8.7 on the chiller. Yeah, it's 8 degrees. So because I want to finally catch it hitting 4 degrees, I'm going to stop the chiller now, throw all my ice bottles into it overnight, and then crank it on again in the morning and hope that it's not gone up too much from that 8.7. I mean, that's the lowest it's been for a long time, and I've been throwing litres and litres of ice into it every time I use it, so really happy with the effectiveness of the chiller so far. Even though it's taken a very, very long time, it's got it down way lower, like 10 degrees lower than I was able to get it just with the ice. So we'll carry this on in the morning. Welcome back to the next day. Last night I stopped the chiller at 8.7 degrees and I put a lot of frozen water, aka ice, in the tub because I didn't want it running all night, but I didn't want it to go back up in temperature. It's about 17.5, 18 degrees ambient temperature right now, and I'd put, this was all frozen as I put it in. You can see there's still ice in some of those bottles. Okay, what that did was it kept the temperature low and actually lowered it even more. That is 6 degrees centigrade, about 42 degrees Fahrenheit. So what I'm now going to do is get the chiller back on and continue seeing if we can get it down to the 4 degrees C that I set the chiller at. When I left it last night, it was 8.7. That was after 10.5 hours of running. Obviously, it's a little bit lower now. It's 6. It's another couple of hours, really, isn't it, that would have taken the chiller. Well, we'll carry on. The water in the chiller is actually shown as 16.7 right now. and it will take a couple of minutes for the compressor to kick in and everything to start back up again. And I'll start the timer again. Let's carry on. First got to get these bottles out. And you know what? I'm not going to refreeze them, which is what I have been doing. I'm just going to get them out, and I'm going to free up so much room in my chest freezer. I'm excited. Let me tell you something. This has been a real stress. Since I last spoke to you, I turned the chiller on and the pump stopped working. I don't know why. Anyway, after a lot of Googling, going to hardware stores, see if I could find a way of understanding whether it was the pump that was broken or the power outlet from the chiller that was broken. I paid somebody to solder two female-to-female DC leads together. Let me show you. I had no way of checking if it was the pump. No way of plugging it into anything else apart from a male DC. So I paid somebody to solder that together in the end. I couldn't get the pump to register. There was no power going to it. I was unable to check whether or not it was the chiller. So I decided, well, you know, I'll just have a little look in the pump. So I undid it, did it back up again, plugged it in. Of course, it works. So the moral of the story is our instinct to take things apart and put them back together again and see if they work is always right. But here we are then, back on track. I mean, I'm 24 hours in. I'm more. I must be 36 hours in now, chilling this tank down. But we're back on track now. So the temperature's gone up a bit because I've just had it turned off pretty much all day. It's at 6.5 degrees. I'm going to start the timer back up again and see if we can get this last 2.5 degrees done this year. Would be nice. So yeah, I'm 11 hours into chilling this. The flow's back on. I'll get these bottles out. But what I will say is the tub only went up less than a degree in the whole time I've been trying to mess about with this, which is hours, by the way. It's been hours. I keep putting this vest back on for some sort of continuity with you. Hopefully we can put this all to bed now and decide once and for all how long does it take to chill this ice bath down, and then, you know, I might get in it after all this effort. Woo! Well, this has not been without its hiccups. Currently sat 7.1 degrees on the chiller. Shows us just over 6 degrees C on the thermometer, so that's 42, 44 Fahrenheit. I think I've waited long enough, so I'm going to get in. This is going to be the coldest I've had it for months. I mean, I couldn't get it below 18 degrees C for months, so this is going to be a shock to the system, let's say. I'm going to get in, then I'm going to treat myself with a little steam sauna afterwards, so let's go. Unclip this mic. Make sure I don't drop that. Oh, I'm a bit nervous for this one. Should I turn it off? Should I leave it on? Let's go hardcore, let's leave it on. Oh. Alexa, set a 3.5 minute timer.
Good evening, Will. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Starting now.
Oh yeah. Oh. Wow, that is fresh, let me tell you. Ooh. Thanks for sticking around for this video. If you made it this far, maybe it helped you set up your chiller. Next up on the channel, I'll be having a review of the Tropic Pro sauna with the ceramic heater. We're setting up that ceramic heater as well. You can see what that's all about. If you did enjoy the content, please do leave us a like, drop me a comment below. I will respond to all the questions that you get. And if you're new to the channel and you like what we do here, please do subscribe. This is fresh. I almost don't want to ask how long is left on this timer, you know. Having to really focus and breathe. I'm looking forward to that steam sauna afterwards. Some contrast therapy. This is tough. Oh man, on my arms. Everything else but my arms. There's Alexa. Alexa, stop. Woo. Whoa. Right, there's some steam on. What's the temperature in here? Oh, we've got 44 degrees. 110 Fahrenheit. Let's go. It's going to be lovely. Alexa, set a 10-minute timer.
10 minutes, starting now. Ooh.
Red light on. Completely forgot I had the camera rolling then. Ice bath done, sauna done. See ya.